Hello, everybody. I'd like to tie for you today Bars Copper John. I've got a lightning strike hook in here. It's a size 12, and I'm going to get some .020 lead. I've got a 5/32 bead in there. It's a brass bead. Guy hates to lose tungsten beads. But if you want to get it down there faster, that tungsten bead is the way to go. It will sink it quick. I want to push that up in my bead to center it. I've got some 70 UTC. I'll build me a little thread dam here behind it. My vise is a little unsteady there. There we go. It's up on the edge of my mat. I'll take this back to the back, and I'm going to tie me like a little thread bump here because we're going to put in some biots, some brown biots. That should do. Now, like I say, I've got some brown biots here. We're just going to take a couple from the end. This is probably the hardest part of the fly, tying in the biots. And listen, I'm going to tie in one at a time. Turn it out from you. I'll measure about half the body. If you can tie them in both at the same time, by all means do it. I'm not a real fast fly tyer, so I mean it doesn't bother me if it takes a little longer. I mean, on some of them I can whip them out, but sorry guys, my belly's growling. Must be hungry. Y'all probably thought that was a dog growling. Usually don't wrap back on your biots. That one I tied in a little short on this side. Yeah, I had it in a little short on that side on my thread. I'm going to tie these up to the lead just to kind of thicken it a little bit. Get herself a little bit of a taper. Cut those off. Sometimes you can break biots off, but on a lot of these smaller flies, I just soon cut them off because I don't want to mess up the fly for just because I'm lazy. I don't want to rip it off. I can remember when I first started fly tying. I bought one of the Orvis books that had Copper John on it, and I couldn't wait to tie the Copper John. I just thought it was the coolest fly. How someone could tie it. Guys, I'm hoping I get enough thread on this one to make it to the end. But yeah, I always thought it was one of the coolest I ever seen. This is a little heavier wire. This is I think it's a medium wire. I don't believe it's a large, but I know it's bigger than the small I have here. It so it might be a medium. I don't even know where I got it from. It's not a branded wire. I might got it out of the hardware store. I mean, guys, you can do that. I mean, if you can't, get to the other thread and things like that. Like my local Ace Hardware, I mean, it has lots of different, styles of lead wire. Get that there. Finish doing a little bit of thread work here. I see a lot of people tie these two-tone, which is pretty cool. I mean, it makes it, pretty cool ribbing. So, let's see what we got here, guys. Haven't tied one of these in a while. I've had several in my box. I've got a small gap in mine. I'm going to take my thumbnail and just kind of push it back a little bit, which is fine. I mean, if it bothers you bad enough, you can unwind it and, retie it, whatever you want to do, man. It's your fly. But, like I said, it's your fly. We'll take this up the tail. You hear me squeezing that lead wire again, or copper wire, not lead. I'll take that up to where that lead was underneath the thread there. And wrap one over, wrap on the other side to get it tied in. Wrap it over. A couple on the other side. Now I'm going to use the back part of my scissors to nip that. Don't use your good scissors to do that. Now I'm wrapping back into my thread because of the thorax. People think, what are you doing, man? You just wrap that in there. Well, like I said, it's for the thorax. I'm going to do a little bit of thread work here. That's the only thing about this 70. It takes a little longer to do thread work. I mean, you could use 210 if you want. I use a lot of 70. It's just kind of something I like. So I mean, that's why I do it, I guess. All right. Now I've got some. It's large holographic tinsel here, and of course I tell you what I did. I hid the end of it so I couldn't find it. Look at that, popped right up. And I'm going to cut off a piece probably 3 or 4 inches long just so I can handle it. And it wants to stick to my finger. I'm going to tie it in toward me so that it'll end up in the middle on the back. That'll be your last material, so it'll be your first material that you tie in. That's why you do that. People are like, why you put that shiny stuff on first? Usually it's your first material goes on, always ends up being the last that you usually see. No, not always, but you get that material clip back here. Not always, but I mean, a lot of times that's the way it is. And guys, I've got some thin skin. Usually black is what you want to use. I mean, I've got this molted oak. It's an olive. And I have it. I don't have any black. So I'm going to use it. You can see how it's kind of curved. I'm going to put that where it curves up. I've got a little point on it there. And there again, I'm going to tie it toward me so that I can get that over. Now the original usually has like olive. I'm sorry, guys. It usually has a peacock for the body there, and you can also use. I've got some peacock here. You can also use chenille if you want. If you don't have it, there it is. I got a peacock here. Sorry, guys. My desk's a mess. My desk's a mess and my belly's a ground. But I'll just take off 2 or 3, 4. You can use strung. I was tying some smaller flies, and I just had this laying around. I'll tie this in. I'm going to twist this up some, guys, so that it'll be covered, but I still like to twist it up a little bit. It'll untwist as you wrap it. That's okay. We can live with that. At one time, I think this was like the #1 selling fly, or used. I don't know about selling, but I know that they say Bar had to make a lot of them. And I'm going to take this and pull it over the top. Pull my thread right in behind the bead. Kind of pull down on it nice and easy. I mean, you don't want to pull that so hard that it, pulls it loose from the back. And then take this out of our material clip. And we'll pull it over the same way. We'll get it right down in behind there. Well, that's really shiny. You can really see that coming a mile away. Let me get a hold of it, make sure I've got it centered. Yeah. When it kind of flipped on me, I kind of thought, that thing kind of went sideways. So we can cut these at the same time. Usually you can cut one side of that and then kind of pull, and it'll pop loose for you. So I get that shiny back there, pretty neat. And if we can find it. Like I said, my desk is pretty messy today. If we can find it, we'll get the old whip finish and do a little bit of whip finishing. You don't have to do as many turns as I did there because we're gonna go over top of it. Bar always used like 20 or 30-minute epoxy I seen. It's just what he liked at the time. He's the master of it, so that's a nice big drop right there. I'm not too worried about it coming loose. Watch your eyes, it'll be bright. And like I said, I probably don't do it justice the way Bar does it, but that's my version of his famous fly. It's quite the concept. I mean, you imagine coming up with that fly. You're sitting there tying, and you're like, just looking at your stuff, and you're like, I wonder how a body would do wrapped with copper, and turned out to be one of the most amazing little flies there is. And I've heard them say that they tie this all the way up to like a size 10, and they call it the Super John or the Whopper John. I've seen these with legs, and like I said, you can do all kinds of different color variations with it. Guys, I appreciate everybody that's watched my channel and everything. I sure thank you a lot. I'll try to make a few more videos, more than I have the last few weeks. No excuses. I just haven't been on the camera. I've tied flies, but I just haven't recorded anything. Like I said, there again, I sure appreciate you guys watching. Maybe I'll see you guys on the water sometime.